The clock is running on Bitcoin. The question is, are you positioned for this move? Hey guys, it's Keith Allen. Hope you're having a good week. It's been interesting, right? It's been volatile. I told you it would be. And things are playing out literally as scripted. I say as scripted, as predicted. And with very little deviation to what I said was going to happen. And now we're at literally an inflection point that I really, nothing has changed in terms of my analysis from the other day. But I want to make sure that you guys understand what's about to happen and that you're positioned, because we are in a very, very tight window of opportunity here, in my opinion. Before we jump in, real quickly, if you're new to the stream, welcome, my friends, to the show that never ends. My name is Keith Allen. I am a full-time trader. I am a work-from-home dad, and I'm co-founder of Material Indicators. And I'm pretty excited about what's happening here in the charts and in the order book, and I'm going to show you that here in a second. As always, our live chat is open. I invite you to join us. We make listen, these things are better. They're more fun. They're more fun for me, and they're more valuable for you when you guys engage. So I encourage you to chime in, ask some questions. I'll do my best to answer them. If you have insights, by all means, please share them. A high tide raises all boats. Oh, goodness gracious. I think I actually forgot to alert the Telegram community that I was getting ready to do this live stream. So give me just a second to do that. And while I'm doing that, do me and yourselves a favor and start smashing some buttons. Help me grow this channel. First thing that you could do for me is hit that like and share. Share this thing share the live stream with one of your friends, a fellow trader. Better yet, share it with one of the communities that you engage in, and let's bring some more people into the free alpha drops that are coming your way. All right. This is valuable stuff. I do it for you guys. And so, oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Getting some echo there. I do it for you guys. And so I want you all to benefit from this. And so the other thing that you can do for yourselves is to make sure that you hit the subscribe button so you never miss any of these future streams. Like I said, I drop the free alpha all the time, and this one's going to be no different. You're going to get some valuable insight here that is going to help you position yourself for what's to come. All right, give me just 1 second. Speaking of that Telegram community, if you're not in it yet, I invite you to come join us here. We have got just a tremendous group. We are talking crypto, talking trading, and things that affect the market 24/7, 365. You'll find links in the description here in the video, and you'll also find them on the YouTube channel. You'll find them on the Material Indicators website. You'll find them on the Material Indicators Twitter page, or X page, I should say, at mi_algos. So we got that going for us and a whole lot more. So let me just drop this message in here into the chat live. I'm multitasking and I'm doing a horrible job at that, but the analysis is going to be rock solid. So I invite you to stick with me and engage, because it's going to be good. All righty. So that's there, and I can share this with that group, and I'm going to share this with the other group, and you guys hopefully are sharing this with some folks who can all benefit from this. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to start with a screen share here and take a look at what has been developing here in the charts here over the past 24 hours or so, right? The first analysis came out Monday. I went pretty deep on what's happening with Bitcoin and ETH and what I expect here for the remainder of the month. And so we're going to key in on that and just check in on the comments here. Hey, welcome back. Glad to have you with me. And let's get into something meaningful at this point, right? So let's share the screen and get to the charts, as they say. We'll go here and Boom. All right. Right screen is up. Hopefully you're seeing it. Looking at the Bitcoin daily chart. If you're having any trouble seeing what I'm sharing or hearing me, then by all means drop a comment in the live chat. So I had talked about two patterns forming in the charts here. And one of them is literally about to confirm within the next 5 hours or so. I had mentioned this earlier in the week. I've even drawn a little, some little dotted lines to see where this was going. There's been a slight adjustment in that I estimated that this was going to happen yesterday, and now it's taking, because of the slowdown in bullish momentum, it's taking a little bit longer to develop. But that's okay, because what we wanted to happen has happened. Two support, really a range for support tests, but the primary support test that I've been looking for, and something that I've been talking about a lot for the better part of a month, is the dynamic between these timescape levels, and specifically the yearly open and then the first week of the year. So historically, when price moves up from the yearly open, then we see a reversion from that first week of the year. That brings us to a support test. Now, I would expect the support test to take us all the way down to the yearly open, but there's one factor in here that makes things, how should I say, a little more interesting. And that is these two moving averages, the green 21-day moving average and the red 50-day moving average. Both of them, as you can see at the moment of crossover. So after tonight's close, we will indeed have a golden cross formed. So this is strong technical support. This is strong technical support. The fact that we haven't made it all the way down here, well, guess what? Because we have these two key moving averages and the introduction of this golden cross in the mix right now, this would be a valid reason why price has not made it all the way down to the yearly open. And look at this. This is textbook. This is textbook, pretty much to the penny of where this technical support is, right? I mean, it hit it perfectly. So it's difficult to expect more right now. Not saying that we'll never get there. I'm just saying right now, this could conceivably hold. And what is going to be the litmus test on that? Well, it's right here. After this golden cross develops, can Bitcoin price, can bulls regain momentum and push back above this timescape level? If they do, then we have an opportunity to go test some stronger resistance levels, starting with the 2025 yearly open. That's at 93.3K. Then we get to the trend line, which is, still in those 93s. So this is, as you can see, this range has been tested and rejected with a bit of a fake out 3 times already. If we zoom out to the weekly time frame, we're going to see some other targets here. And what do you see? Just like we saw on the daily time frame, we had a pending or an imminent golden cross. We have just the opposite of that on the weekly time frame. We have a death cross forming. And I would say that in most cases, really probably all cases, the higher time frame chart is more reliable than the lower time frame. Sure, the lower time frame can give us an indication of what's happening, what's developing, etc. But it's those high time frames that really are going to have the overriding or overreaching accuracy, in my opinion. So you can see I've drawn this, and I've literally been talking about this forming for a month at least. And it's rare that we get this kind of heads up that something like this is going to happen. And this is where the alpha really lives. Okay. So we have the PA around these timescape levels that I mentioned, yearly open down here, and the first weekly open of the year, or quarter for that matter. These are quarterly levels, just happens to be that we're at the yearly time frame right now. It's that time of year. So, yeah, it's good that we've seen support above this 100-week moving average. Absolutely, that's a positive. Yes, it's good that for the moment we are above the yearly open. That is a positive. I would say short time frame bullish, but in my opinion, regardless of what we just saw here on a support test to these moving averages, no move, in my opinion, is going to be sustainable. No breakout will be sustainable without a legit support test of this yearly open. Now, that doesn't mean it has to happen today. It doesn't. Doesn't even have to happen this week. If it doesn't happen this week, then I'm pretty sure that it's going to happen after this death cross forms. So, what does that mean in the short term? In the short term, it means that we have an opportunity to take a scalp or conceivably a swing trade if we get a breakout from here. So I viewed this. Let me back up a little bit. I viewed this range from here to here as a decent dollar cost averaging zone, as a buy zone into a pending potential rally that could happen off of this golden cross. Now, sometimes we get huge rallies off of this golden cross. Sometimes it's not so much, and I'm going to show you that in a second. But I wanted to show you the opportunity. The opportunity that I think is a potential swing trade, or scalp or swing trade. It'll be a swing if we can get out of this, if we can break out of this zone. Right now, it's a scalp, but we've got to break this this level, this timescape level from the Monday open at 91.5K. Got to break that for this really to turn into a swing trade. And from here, I see potential, and this is something I've been looking for as well, is a resistance test at that 50-week moving average minimum. Now, if it fails and we never make it out of here, or we do make it out of here, and then we fail at the 2025 timescapes, then so be it. But I'd really like to see a support test of this 50-week moving average, and that's a decent trade. If we get it, then it's conceivable that price could even go higher. But I am very confident that after this death cross forms on the weekly time frame, that we're going to see a major breakdown in price, and it's not necessarily going to be a flash crash. I think it's going to be a longer dump. And I want to show you now what I think is possible to the upside. And, so this is pretty much the range here, right? So maybe even, that 110 range, 24%, is 114 possible. Anything's possible. You don't rule anything out, especially when we have the manipulator in chief and his sons doing what they do. But I would not be holding out for this. I would be taking profits along the way. Well, let me rephrase that, because I'm not giving advice, right? It's all insight and opinion. I am going to be taking profits all along the way. And so here's where I'm slightly concerned. Here's where this has a chance of not playing out the way that I'd like. And that is the golden cross between the 21 and the 50, the one that's happening right now. This often is followed by an explosive move, but there are times where it hasn't. So rather than speculate that, hey, every golden cross is freaking great and we're all going to make money, let's actually look at history and see what it tells us. Because there are times, like I said, where we see a golden cross like that, and here's an example. We see an explosive move. Here's an example. We see an explosive move. Here's an example. We see an explosive move. But not all golden crosses are created equally. There are other factors that come into play. And here is an example. This was back around January of 2025, where we saw things get toppy, right? Where was price? Price was at 109. This was our first like big move that we thought like, okay, we've cracked 100K. We had this fake out here, and then, but this was really the beginning of the end of that rally anyways, right? And so in this instance, we had the Golden Cross, but price didn't really move up from there. We did get maybe a couple of decent closes, but things started to erode pretty quickly. And so the death cross that's happening on the weekly chart is going to be happening within a couple of weeks here from now. So that thing, in my opinion, is imminent for this month. And so the pace of and the velocity of the momentum is going to have a lot to do with any timing adjustments. But here's where that cross right now looks like it would be somewhere in that 100K range and somewhere around mid month. Maybe it takes another week. So be mindful of that. And you can see it better here on the weekly time frame, right? So this is what I'm talking about. Right here, maybe around somewhere between the 16th, 19th. Well, it'll be those closes, right? So certainly by the end of the month, it will have formed cleanly. We'll have the crossover. So that leaves very little time to get from here and back. And so it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be a quick wick back down. I think it could be a grind back down. So now let's look at what happens with those longer term death crosses. We're talking about the green 21-day moving average and 21-week moving average and the red 50-week moving average. And this has been a once per cycle event. Every single cycle, here it is. Death cross between the 21 and the 50-week moving averages. And this was from August 2014 down to January 2015. August, September, October, November, December, January, 5 months until it found a bottom. Here's another one. This was July 2018 after we put in that 2019 top around 20K. This happened in July 2018, and it was December until we found a macro bottom at the 200-week moving average. July, August, September, October, November, December, 5 months. Okay. And here's another one this one was the COVID crash. Bit of an anomaly. I'm not even going to time that out. But let's go here to this cycle. This is 2022. Happened in March of 2022. And we find a bottom in November after the FTX crash, and that was below the 200-week moving average. So that was April, right? Or March, end of March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. That was what? Wait. April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, 7 months, 7 or 8 months, depending on how you time this, right? And here we are now in this current cycle. It hasn't happened yet. It's going to happen this month. And that is why I think we are in a confirmed bear market. And when that happens, unless Bitcoin breaks above this 50-week moving average and keeps on going, which I don't think happens without a legit support test of the timescape levels I identified down here, then it is what it is. It is bear market as advertised, as stated since that November close. So I just want to make sure that you're prepared for what's happening, for what's developing, and to know that we have a chance, a high probability that we get an upside move off of this golden cross on the daily time frame, but it is going to be countered within the uh, next couple of weeks by a death cross on the weekly time frame. So that gives us a narrow window of opportunity to take advantage of the price action that's developing here. Again, I showed you every golden cross is not a one-way ticket, right? There's a chance that this doesn't develop the way that we'd like it to. And your invalidation point is going to be right here. Notice we have close confluence between the yearly open, the 2026 yearly open, and the 100-week moving average. Let's see if there's anything down there on the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, it's the yearly open hanging by itself. So don't allow a wick below these moving averages to shake you out. This is the invalidation point for me, down at the yearly open. And if we get a weekly close below this yearly open, consider that one more nail in the coffin of the bull market, right? It would be just another confirmation that the bear market is here. To me, that's already very, very clear, but there's a lot of hopiumatics out there in the market and in the crypto sphere who are, I don't know, in denial or following hype channels. Oof, don't get me started on that. Okay. So much garbage on social media right now. I don't know how anybody can sort out the truth from the fake shit without verifying. So if you see something, verify it. And and that's something you're always going to get from me. I'm never going to give you something speculative or some bullshit hype without something to back it up. Okay. I will always share a chart. I will always share data. I will always show you what I'm talking about. And that's why I think this is a valuable channel for you. Um, Again, if you haven't done so yet, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of the future streams. This one I'm keeping briefer. I went in much more detail in the analysis on Monday, and you can find that on YouTube or scroll through the X channel feed to find it if you want. And again, if you haven't done so yet, make sure you're joining us in the Telegram channel. We've got just a great group, a global group of traders there, and we are talking about it with no bullshit, no hype, no shillers, no moon boys, just straight talk about the market. Come join us. Links are in the description down below. You'll also find them on the YouTube channel, on the Material Indicators homepage, and in the profile of both X and on CoinMarketCap, where we just started posting over there as well. Give us a follow on that one. And well, that's where I'm going to wrap it. Hope that helps you trade smarter. Oh, you know what? Let me give you one more thing to look at real quick. I want you to see what's happening in the order book here on Fire Charts, because things are not always as they seem. I posted something earlier today about some TWAPing that's going on, and here's an example of it. So for anybody not familiar, TWAP, time weighted average price. It is basically an incremental buy or an incremental sell over a period of time, over a fixed period of time. And you can identify it on the bin CVD in Fire Charts. And that's one of the great things about this tool, because we have all these cohorts divided by the size of their orders. And here you can see this very smooth, nearly vertical drop. You can identify TWAPing as the dominant force within an order class by the smooth, contourless or nearly contourless lines, right? This yellow one is, or orange, whatever you want to call it, is pretty much perfect. That doesn't include brown mega whales. They just make very few orders that size, so that's why those are very blocky and vertical. So let's just take that one out for a second, and I'll take out all orders for a second. And let's just focus on two that seem to be TWAPing. Let's bring that one back. So right here, this is about a 90-minute window of opportunity. 90-minute window, And if we switch over to absolute CVD, we can see that they sold roughly 10 million. Let's see. There we go. But about $10 million worth in 90 minutes. And that happened. That began as price was going up. They were selling the rip. This is a DCA strategy, right? And things started going south on them quick, and they unloaded the rest of that position. Here we see red. There's a little bit of contour in red, so it's not 100% TWAP influencing this order class, but heavily dominated, I would say, at least in this span of time, which was about not even an hour. We'll call it about 45 minutes. And they also had a tremendous amount of volume in a very short amount of time. That was roughly, what, 20 million? They were down 27. Yeah, I mean, like, that's a lot. That's a lot for a short amount of time out of these order classes. So it's certainly not the norm. Just something to be aware of here. And now we see just a new block of bid liquidity coming in here in this 89. This is literally right in that range. This, by the way, has no intention of getting filled. It is just here to try and herd liquidity up. If they wanted to get filled, they would have been right here. And so this looks like they're trying to push price over the most recent timescape level right here. And we'll see what happens. See if that happens over the close. If not, there's always a chance we go back and wick our way back down here. But this golden cross is looming, right? It is going to happen by at the close today. And we'll see how price develops from here. My expectation is price goes up. Whether it goes up as all the way up the way that we'd like it to remains to be seen. All I know is by the time that this death cross happens on the weekly, I plan to be out of this trade unless I see something different that gives me a reason to stay in it. Now, with that said, I hope that helps you out. Hope that gives you some insight. Hope that helps you trade smarter. Make sure you're subscribed. Links are in the description to both the channels and the tools and that Telegram community. Hope to engage with you there.